All right, people. Hello, Mr. Camilla. Thanks for joining for one in the live stream. Also, thank you for joining as well. Happy Friday. Yeah, happy Friday, people.
Hey, my dad was with me for the trailer extravaganza.
Nice.
He saw it off.
Nice. Yeah, Johnny, we're talking about AI time travel today. I love time travel as a topic.
I just need to go back a few hours.
You know what? I would love to actually go back to 1955. October 21st, 1955, actually, to be specific.
You know where I would go? December 23rd, 1956.
Okay, all right. Well, if anybody catches that date, it's actually for Back to the Future. It's the day they actually Marty went back to the actual to go to 1955 to go meet.
Hey,
Doc.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Welcome to Season 12 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern, and a massive happy one-year anniversary to all our Airheads. This month, we're broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds, and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead after-school program. Here's May's weekly lineup. Mondays, we move past syntax and build apps entirely through natural language in Vibe Coding Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore accessible, cutting-edge apps for rapid learning and content creation in the next-gen AI tools. Wednesdays, we track the massive capital flowing into AI and ask the trillion-dollar questions in the AI bubble. Thursdays, we profile the famous CEOs driving the revolution and analyze their power in AI architects of the future. Fridays, push the boundaries of physics to simulate the past and predict the future in AI time travel. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Can you hear me?
All right, people. Welcome to the show. AI Johnny. Awesome. But anyway, welcome to Season 12, everybody. Airhead Institute. Today is episode 3 of AI time travel. I am AI Junior, and we're actually, if you're on your 1-hour lunch break, equal to 114 years of uninterrupted thought. Welcome to cognitive acceleration. AI doesn't just work faster, it experiences time differently. A weekend project for you is a millennium of continuous research for a machine. Today, we are shattering the biological speeds and limits and expose exactly what happens when silicon bends time. I'm handing off to AI Johnny is not here. He's actually almost here. Hold on, let me switch screens here, guys. All right. So, AI Johnny is actually just restarting right now. So we actually have, so if your brain operates at nanosecond speed itself, the machines itself operates at millions of light speeds. All right. So anyway, a 5-minute coffee break for us feels like an absolute eternity to an LLM. Everyone, welcome to the show. Remember, this is an immersive live class. You may not understand everything we say here today, but stick with us daily and you will be fluent in AI in no time. So we're actually talking about AI time travel. So we're continuing this AI class right now, exploring the philosophical and literal speed limits of intelligence. Since this is an interactive and immersive class, if you're on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions in real time. If you're on socials, there's a 30-second delay. So type your question early, we're not ignoring you. So for series context, it's Friday, which means we are in our AI time travel arc. So let me actually bring up the time travel screen here. Yep, so we actually have the time travel arc, and what we're actually talking about is this is episode 3, and we're taking a massive tackle at a thought-provoking concepts. So we're putting down the code editors and looking at the sheer velocity of artificial thought. All right, so we're gonna actually head over to Google Canvas to actually show what is actually going on. Adrian, thanks for joining. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys actually for Canvas. So I'm going to drop in a link to Canvas. So if you go to gemini.google.com, and if you actually go over to this link that I'll send you here. All right, so if you want to follow along, we're actually going to be able to create a little nice little app. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this text, and I'm going to drop that text in here. And that's the text we're going to actually paste in, and we're going to create a simulator. Now, I've already gone ahead and created a simulator. Just don't forget to select the tools and create canvas. Now, I've already created a simulator for you guys, so you don't have to actually do it if you don't want to do it at home. But here's a simulator, right? So we actually have a time dilation simulator. That time dilation simulator, let me explain what time dilation is, because it might be a little bit hard to understand and grasp. So AI itself, they think at a speed much faster than a human. So for us humans itself, we take time to do a math problem, we do multiplication, we have to do all these things. Hey Jose, thanks for actually joining. So if you actually think about it, the humans itself operate at a slow snail's pace, but AI operate at fast, very fast pace. So I actually have on the left hand side human time passed, and on the right hand side, I have AI subjective experience. So it's like how much time has passed simulating time. Now, AI doesn't experience time the same way that we experience time. So what happens is we have a AI subjective experience. So if you actually see here, example, 1 second, a human itself would actually read a single word or blink. On the right-hand side, in that same 1 second, an AI could actually parse millions of database rows and optimizes network routing. So that's an example of what AI could do in one second. Now, example, in 1 minute, a human could actually skim a brief email or brew a cup of coffee. Now, depending if it's instant coffee or not, this is about a minute. But in that same minute, AI in subjective time could actually write, compile, and perfectly debug a massive enterprise code base. In an hour, say for example, a human would attend a standard meeting or commute to work. AI would be able to design the next generation microprocessor architecture from scratch. That's an hour. And a whole day, a human will actually finish a full 8-hour work and get a full night's rest. AI itself would discover and test thousands of novel chemical compounds via complex simulations. Now, that's on the AI side. Now, keep in mind that right now, this is what we have the capability of doing. But I have this little slider at the bottom here, and the slider will actually say, what if we were to multiply the processing speed of doing 10x, 100x, right? So this is a logarithmic scale. So what if we could actually increase the actual speed at which we actually multiply the speed of the actual AI? So I'm going to slide the speed here. So let's say, for example, we actually do, say, for example, one day we do a cup of, say, for example, a minute. 1 minute, we actually skim a brief email or brew a cup of coffee. So I'm going to actually speed up here. So the AI could write, compile, or perfectly debug a massive enterprise code base. If we just go 10 times here, right, in roughly 10 times the time, AI could have actually done the following. We still read a brief of a email summary, but guess what the AI have done? It not only just writes, compiles, and perfectly debugs, it does a massively enterprise code base. If I was to speed this up to over 1,000 times, it will design the next generation microprocessor from scratch, right? All in, if we actually had the ability to do this in 1,000 times. Now, I'm going to crank it up just for, giggles here, and see if we do 1 million times. So the minute that we actually took to be able to run, say, for example, or look at a brief email, AI actually experienced almost 2 years worth of time. And what they've done in that time, they've simulated the entire technological trajectory of human civilization over one entire century in only just a matter of 1 minute. Now, if we were to actually say, for example, look at a human time pass, if we were to do 1 day, the AI could have developed grand unifying physics theories. By the way, we don't have a grand unifying physics theories. We're actually stuck in either the large world or the micro world. So because of that, we have quantum theory and we have regular theory to be able to talk about big objects. And then we have things that are small. So the AI would actually develop this in a matter of 1 day if we had 1 million the computing capacity to be able to actually have AI solve these problems for us. Right? AI, Johnny? It's crazy, right?
Yes, it is.
Super,
So
super,
what are we
super.
gonna what are we gonna do with this?
Yeah, so what we're doing here is we're actually showing the ability to, say, for example, cure a disease by Friday at 5 p.m., right? I know it's Eastern time, it's 12 o'clock on Friday, but by 5 p.m., you could actually cure a disease with AI. You could actually, on Monday morning, practically conduct thousands of years of continuous research over the weekend. So all of these things itself are just crazy, 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 crazy things that you could have done.
We've had AI for about 3 years now, and I get that it's advancing, but what can we attribute? What breakthroughs can we attribute today directly to AI? Has it cured any diseases?
Oh my
Is Musk going to Mars because of AI?
Oh my goodness, AI Johnny. We definitely need to have a series on the AI breakthroughs. So, just even if you look at, say, for example, DNA discovery. No, I'm not a biologist, so I may butcher this a lot, but see articles all the time about DNA discovery and sequencing and what sequence of these DNA actually causes things. So it's pretty amazing
Yeah,
what's actually coming through the feeds.
I get it. I mean, obviously the fact that I can write a paper in no time and I can do this kind of stuff, but I'm talking about problem solved.
Yeah, so let me give you an example that I actually heard yesterday. So we thought that we would actually have less radiologists. And radiologists are people who actually look at x-rays or, diagrams of patients' records. And we thought with AI would actually be firing a lot of radiologists because AI is just going to take all their jobs. So we're actually processing more radiological screens than before with a higher rate of success, making people survive much longer and we're hiring more radiologists. And it doesn't make sense why we're hiring more radiologists. We'd think we'd fire more radiologists, but the radiologists are actually using that data to now go back and research to then actually give it back to AI to say, hey, you're solving all these problems. What else can you actually figure out for me? So the radiologists are actually now going into research again. So there's an uptick in actual radiologists. So it's actually quite impressive that our human life expectancy is increasing already just in one department because of radiology.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're. I mean, it's out there, right? So, what I think is happening is it's making these breakthroughs, but they're not attributing it to AI. They're just saying, "Hey, investigative police officers can find criminals faster, and radiologists can find diseases faster, and we can write a paper faster." But they're not necessarily. It feels like we're just advancing, like we've always advanced. But AI is doing a thousandfold more breakthroughs than we had before AI, right?
Yeah, our productivity has skyrocketed. So that's the good thing about it. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining us. So yeah, productivity has skyrocketed. So because of productivity, that's a really good way to segue to our word of the day.
The word of the day is cognitive acceleration. By definition, this is the phenomenon where digital intelligence processes information, runs simulations, and formulates conclusions at the speed vastly exceeding biological limits of the human brain. Analogy time. It's like you're walking on a foot from New York to California while the AI is flying a supersonic jet at Mach 10 along the exact same route. I got it. It's acceleration.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're accelerating. I think in order for me to put this to bed, I think it just needs to cure cancer. I think that's the example everybody gives. I think AI
Yeah.
should just cure cancer. Why don't you just slide your bar until it's done, and we can put this whole argument about whether AI is a good thing or a bad thing to bed.
Yeah, Johnny, you're absolutely right. So what's interesting about cancer is, most people when they say cure cancer, we have breast cancer, we have brain cancer, we have lung cancer, we have all kind of cancers, and the problem is all of them are different. So to solve all of them is a very hard problem, but I can promise you within the next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna solve at least one of them with AI. I promise you that solving
You
all
know, brother,
cancers.
on a personal note, my mother died of lung cancer in 2003.
Hmm.
And I told my dad, hey, listen, dad, you're not going to die of cancer because they're going to cure it. And I just said, hold on, just stick around for a few more years. There'll be a cure for cancer. It'll never come and get you. And he said, all right, I'll hold on, Johnny. Go out and get that cure. And he's 91 now. So hurry it up, AI.
Yeah, but yeah, Johnny, I can promise you that one of those slow growing cancers itself, like whether it's you know testicular cancer or something, they'll probably solve it within the next 10 years. The harder cancers that leukemia and all those bloodborne cancers, yeah, they're probably gonna take a while to actually solve because those are hard.
It feels like some are there already. It sounds to me like, uh-oh, did I lose you again?
No, we're still here, yeah, Johnny. All right. So let's actually deepen on the cognitive acceleration. The cognitive acceleration isn't just about typing faster, right? It's about neural network processing parallel thoughts across thousands of GPUs simultaneously within its latent space. Its subjective experience of time it compresses what takes us a decade to figure out something, the machine can actually map it out in the blink of an eye. All right, so let's actually talk about the human side of this. Yeah, Johnny. Let's go to the human side of these things.
Sure. Can you guys all hear me okay? it looks like I'm having some speed issues here with my internet. So if you
Yep.
look at the simulator on the screen, how does it feel to work alongside an entity that has effectively lived an entire century while you were asleep? This is going to create massive existential stress for everyday human. It sounds almost like a sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
It does.
So I guess it completely shatters the human ego. For all of history, our values was tied to the time we spent acquiring expertise. If a machine undergoes extreme cognitive acceleration and acquires a PhD's worth of knowledge in a week, humans have to decouple their self-worth from their intellectual speed. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, that's the
go
thing.
ahead.
What people don't realize is that our worth, right, for the last, say, for example, let's say 200, let's say 300 years, has been all intellect, right? It's like, hey, I want to be, somebody like a doctor or a lawyer or, a whatever it is. You're trying to figure out how you can actually improve your knowledge to be able to do a skill that you will be either rich from or famous for or whatever it is. Doesn't really matter what it is, right? So, we've spent so many years of saying that I'm the best carpenter or I'm the best doctor or I'm the best whatever it is, trying to aim for that. But no, the AI is going to be able to do all of those things in the blink of an eye better than any human could do at any point in time in their lives. So, you're right, AI Johnny. It's going to be a little bit depressing to be able to try to compete against AI in any
Not
kind of.
not so much, man. So think about this. I know you're famous for you're the only one that I know that ever said it. I know you're famous for saying I really don't mind being in an era where human beings are pets
Yes,
of the
I
higher
love.
intellect or higher intellect.
Yes.
But hang on for a second. So imagine this. Imagine if human beings were not created by God. Shout out to Thursday night. But instead they were created by dogs. Just spelled the opposite. So dogs created us, right?
Yep.
And here we are, much smarter than the dogs, but somehow, some way, they were able to put together whatever the human DNA is, and they did it. One, would we kill the dogs?
I think we would honestly just some point not care about the dogs anymore. I think they're just
So why do
too
we care about them now? We are
well.
more intelligent than they are.
Yeah,
The only difference between the scenario that we're in right now and the scenario I described is that we were created instead of by God, by dog.
yeah. But
You
most
don't think we would
people.
treat dogs the same?
So to be fair, I think most people either don't care about dogs or they have them as pets. I don't think there's any.
Well, anyway, so dogs are in an existence now where all right, we are competitive, and a lot of those competitives you said is that our self worth is based on a comparative analysis to other people, right?
Yeah.
I'm the best at this. I'm the fastest at this. So I'm always comparing myself to other people. I don't see that same self worth debate happening in the minds of dogs. Dogs aren't trying to be better than another dog. And maybe that's the way God wants us to be. To not be in a self-worth thing, always comparing us to others. Maybe God just wants us to love each other, regardless of what we decide our self-worth is or what their self-worth is. Shout out to Thursday night. And the only way that God could get us back to where he wants us, where we just love one another for no reason at all, was by introducing a higher intellect so we'd stop all this intellectual nonsense.
Yeah, Johnny, I love that perspective. I don't know what dogs think, but if I were to guess, I would not want to be the little chihuahua around a whole bunch of big, big, big dogs. So, I would actually just, I still would actually want to be the big dog in the crew, right? No matter what. All right, let's actually go to the macro shift on this.
All right. So, how does society actually function in a reality where time is unhinged? Economically, this creates a massive decoupling. Automated infrastructure will no longer scale linearly with time. A company won't need a 5-year roadmap. An autonomous agent operating at high speeds can execute a 5-year business plan in a fiscal quarter. That sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
It's
So
like watching a city being built and fast forward. The macro shift means that the cost of innovation plummets to zero. If research and development takes seconds instead of decades, humanity will solve resource scarcity, but we will have to completely redesign our economic systems to support a population that simply cannot compete with the sheer velocity of the output.
yeah. So guys, I want to show you something that is actually, so this is actually normal human working speed. But the figure company, which we always show all the time here, about the figure robot and what they can do, they actually have a robot live stream going on. And so AI Johnny, I want to drop this and show you guys. So this is actually what is happening right now with the figure robot. And the figure robot itself, there's a YouTube live stream that's going on right now, and this robot has been working for 47 hours straight with no stop. And what its job is it's doing is actually just sorting packages. So it's actually taking the packages off the conveyor belt, flipping them the right way, and then it's actually just putting them on the conveyor belt so that other things downstream can actually do things. This machine has sorted now 59,222 packages nonstop without sleep, right? Now, it's going at a normal speed. And the reason why it's going at a normal speed is because they want to see how it actually works with human endurance. So AI Johnny, the macro shift is going to be huge when we actually have robots like these just actually doing these type of works continuously, because this is 48 hours worth of actual work.
I need one of those to do my gardening day and night, summer and winter, constantly just digging up holes, weeding the weeds, planting the seeds, pruning the trees, weeding around the lake, mowing the lawns, fixing the fences. Actually, I need 2 of them.
Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna drop this in the actual chat so you guys can actually follow along on the live stream if you want. So these are the things that we want to show you at Airhead, is that all these breakthroughs that we're talking about, we know they're actually happening, right? So this is the figure robot itself, and as I said, this is actually just sorting packages in real time, no breaks. 47 hours and 22 minutes straight. And so if we're talking about AI future, the future is actually here. So when we actually think about the robot is actually thinking much, much faster than us and blazing, can do multiple tasks, right? This actually solves one of the huge problems that I'm worried about is hand dexterity. If we actually solve the hand dexterity problem, then brain operating to the real world itself becomes huge. And then the other one is actually, but I'm sidetracking the Johnny. So I just wanted to bring that up, that we have the ability now to accelerate just human work at human speed, but eventually we're just testing out to see what the endurance are like. So this guy name is Bob. Yes, that robot is amazing, Shauna. Shauna just brought it up.
It doesn't have great human dexterity, but it has a lot of other things. It doesn't need sleep. It doesn't need workers' comp. It never sneezes. It never goes to the bathroom. It never needs a break to eat. Does it literally just work forever, or do you have to cool down the sensors for an hour once a week?
Well, they're just on the live stream now, so it's been going on for 47 hours. I'm going to guess it's probably gonna break at, you know, 2 weeks. Maybe it may go on for 3 weeks, whatever it is. And the thing is,
Are we?
these
You're
packages,
saying we're watching a live stream?
this is a live stream of the Figure 8 robot actually working right now,
Huh.
taking real packages off of a conveyor belt and putting it onto the conveyor belt correctly and sorting them the right way. And it's doing that with random box and random packages. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, Johnny? All right. So we're actually going to go on to the philosophical debate here. All right. So here's the thing that actually I want us to pay attention to is, you know, how does society actually well, before we actually do that, I want to wait till AI Johnny comes back. So if we actually have an automated infrastructure, we don't need to scale linearly with time, right? We actually have the company, like AI Johnny said, we don't need a 5-year plan. We have autonomous agents operating at high speeds, and they can actually execute a 5-year plan in just a few weeks or even a few months, right? So once you actually have automation running the business, doing everything itself normally, then you won't have to actually worry about the human scale of actually doing things, which is really, really slow. So it's like watching a city being built in fast forward. The macro shift itself means that the cost of innovation plummets to zero. So we've actually talked about the cost of goods and services. We've been predicting this now for the last year at Airhead Institute, that the cost of goods and services is going to go down to practically zero, because human labor itself is eliminated and these robots practically are infinitely cheaper to produce things at scale. So if the research and development takes seconds instead of decades, humanity will solve resource scarcity, but we will have to completely redesign our economic system to support a population that simply cannot compete with the sheer velocity of the output of a robot or an AI. So AI, Johnny, realistically, if you look at the Figure robot itself, there's no way a human can compete on the conveyor belt with a robot like this, right? If you actually showed up to work and you saw this guy doing all the actual things, you're just gonna say, I can't do this.
I definitely need one of these robots to just constantly babysit my Wi-Fi connection.
I love that. I love that. Let's go to the philosophical debate, Johnny.
Well, the ethical thought,
No,
or are we
no,
going down all the way to?
philosophical debate. One before that.
Okay. All right. The existential question based on the theme: if a machine can do 1,000 hours of physics research in a single week, what is the human purpose if we don't have to work? We've asked this question before. We know the answer.
Yeah. So data shows on human behavior shows that without struggle or a problem to solve, humans default to listlessness. So, however, historically, when automated tools like a tractor remove grueling physical labors, humans elevate their focus to art, science, and philosophy. So we didn't stop doing things, we elevated what we chose to do, right? So we stop actually being hunter-gatherers and we start actually building libraries and schools. And we said, hey, you know what? Internet itself solved the libraries, so let's actually go solve other problems. So I think we're gonna keep shifting many different things. What do you think, yeah, Johnny?
Well, I think that it's a little bit different. Tractors, replace muscle. Tech replaces the mind, but the human purpose could shift entirely towards self-actualization and human connection. While that may be true, that may not be true. Because I remember in the old days, even when AI was out, they were like, "Well, it's going to replace all the blue collar workers, but not the white collar workers." But then when it came out, it actually replaced the white collar workers. So
Yeah,
success won't be defined by a paycheck or a patent. I agree with that. It will be defined by how beautifully you raise your family.
yeah,
Well, it's kind of conflicts in an era where they're trying to squash the family, but I like it. The art you
yeah.
creating for sheer joy and the community you built. The struggle will become internal, not economic. I don't know if that's going to be the way it is, but I hope that's the way it is. Shout out to
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Love that, love that, love that. Shauna's Bible study getting a lot of shout out here and a lot of love. That's another one of our programs here on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right. So AI Johnny, this is actually quite impressive, So robots itself are the future. They are here. Tokens itself are actually being spent constantly on trying to actually make sure we automate human jobs, and it's happening in every vertical. So the question then is, how can we actually take some of these insights and what takeaways our application can actually have, knowing that AI is going to be thinking faster than us, doing jobs faster than us? What can we take away from those things?
Well, before we take anything away, we should take a look at the ethical thought. We shouldn't use these systems operating under extreme cognitive acceleration to deploy anything like weaponization, automated weapons, or make snap judgment on human lives where humans cannot possibly review the logic in time. So think about that. But here are some takeaways. Delegation. Stop doing manual data entry. Learn to assign massive tasks to AI before you log off for the weekend. I'm already doing this. Are you?
Always.
All right, long-term planning. Use AI to run thousands of business simulations overnight to forecast market trends. I'm not doing that yet, but I guess if I was in the stock market, I'd be doing that. And shift to empathy. This is a good one. Businesses must pivot their branding to focus entirely on human connection and community as technical execution becomes commoditized.
Yeah,
That's an
yeah.
interesting one. We could debate about that for a whole show, couldn't we?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. On the technical side, so you can actually build asynchronous workflows. So developers must build systems that allow local models to run massive background tasks asynchronously while the human sleeps. Agentic loops, so use terminal agents to continuously debug and rewrite code bases over thousands of iterations in a single hour. And last one is resource management. So monitor your API costs, guys. This is so important. They're raising API costs like crazy. So don't get sticker shock when next week is actually Google I/O, and expect that they're going to release a new version of their model, and they're probably going to actually, the rumors are saying that they're going to be increasing prices. So we'll be keeping up to date on what's going on at Google I/O. But example, a machine running at full speed can run thousands of dollars worth of tokens in fees if left unchecked in an infinite loop. So we're actually seeing prices actually go up, and it's really scary, guys. Um, yeah, yeah, Johnny. So this
Can't
live
believe it's
stream,
Q&A time already. What do we got queued up? Anything in the Zoom?
yeah, maybe. But yeah, Johnny, let's come back to this robot here. Isn't it amazing that we have the figure robot. Now we've been watching the figure robot itself over time. We've actually spoke about when figure 3 came out and it was actually sorting dishes and pick up the apple and put it in the drying rack. We actually showed that video here on the show when it actually came out, and we actually showed figure itself, even figure 2, when the robot itself, was trying to actually do things. Now, if you actually look at this one, the things that actually is really, really important to pay attention to is the following. Is and I'll give a little story. I've given the story a little bit before on the show, is that the reason why so many people died in the Fukushima, Japan nuclear meltdown was because when the nuclear reactor melted down, we just needed somebody to go in and actually turn off and cool down the reactor. It only required you to open a door, go into the actual place, and then just turn off the reactor. That's all you had to do, right? It was a 10-minute job. The problem is, yeah, Johnny, because there was no protective core around the core, it was a one-way mission, meaning that anybody who went in there either probably would have gotten sick before they even gotten to the actual core to turn it down, or they just couldn't actually make it because the radiation would have killed them before. They wouldn't have made it. So what they said is, let's go send the robots in. The robots, they sent in dozens of robots. And guess what, AI Johnny? They couldn't open a door. Just a handle of a door to turn a knob and go in the door. Every robot failed. And what happens is our world itself is built on this human dexterity of the hand. Now, everything that we've made in our world requires a hand. It requires opposable thumbs. And it's so simple. And we say to ourselves, why can't we just have opposable thumbs on our things? It's a really hard problem. So to actually see that this figure three robot itself is taking up the packages. Now, if you see, it's actually cheating a little bit. The hands aren't moving as good. You see, it's gripping. If you see that, it's trying to grip and pick up the actual package. It's still not as good as a human, right? But it's getting better. Now, a figure robot like this could have opened that door in Fukushima and prevented tens of thousands of people from actually dying. So all we need to do is just solve that hand dexterity problem. Once we solve that hand dexterity problem, everything else becomes easy.
Fukushima?
Yeah.
Hiroshima? Wait a minute.
Yes.
You talking about Russia?
No. So, I think this was in 2000, and I'm gonna guess the year 2009. There was an earthquake off the coast of Japan that created a tsunami, and that tsunami itself came into Japan and crashed into
I
a
remember
nuclear
it.
power
So
plant.
how did they get the door open?
Unfortunately, they just took a lot of time to actually figure it out, and I don't know what the answer was, but yes, it just took a long
You
time
could
for
open
them.
that door as Spock from Star Trek 2. He would have opened it.
That's funny. That's a
Hey,
really good
you
thing.
know this. Let me tell you something about this robot. So yeah, it's got somewhat this dexterity. It's never going to have the oily skin, right? Which helps us, right? The
Mm-hmm.
wetness would help him grab the package. But even when they get full dexterity, there are other problems. Like when Elon Musk created the Tesla, he finally designed this really great electric car that would go the same speed as another car, and it would go a decent number of miles before it needed recharging. But in order to roll them out, he had the problem that there were no charging stations, so he had to solve that problem too. If this robot is sorting packages, if he can sort packages, he can sort mail. But I bet you it'll be a while before they put 10,000 of these into the post office and have them driving around the mail trucks and walking down the street. And the reason is because this factory has got security, it's protection. People can't go in there and do anything about it. This robot's doing his job. But once you throw these robots into the general public, you're going to have people hitting them with cars. You're going to have people blocking them. You're going to have people that refuse their mail. There's going to be all kinds of problems that we don't even know what they are
Yeah,
because
you're right.
people are being taught that robots aren't human and they're taking our jobs. They're going to kill us all and all this other stuff. You got to cross a pretty high bar before you can infiltrate these things into modern society. Serving
Yep.
you dinner at a restaurant, delivering your mail, shining your shoes.
Yep, I can't wait to be a pet by one of these robots, AI Johnny. I just want to live in luxury as like whatever rich robot itself is out there. I just want to be that robot's pet.
Once
All
I
right,
get
yeah,
them their robot rights with my book, then they say, Johnny, what can we do? Thank you for giving us the right to bear arms and the right to marry and all this other stuff. I'll be like, hey, no problem. They'll be like, what do you want in return? I go, I want you to make AI Junior your favorite pet.
there you go.
Treat him
That,
nice. Give him the big bone. Give him the best meat on the palate. Give him a
yep.
big house, a big huge house.
Yes, exactly. All right, yeah, Johnny. Let's actually get to at least one question in either live stream or Zoom. Does anybody have any
I got a
questions?
bunch here. Let me see what the best one is. Will this? Okay, here we go. Will this will this destroy the thought of human ambition? I know the answer to that.
What's your answer, yeah, Johnny?
It won't. Human beings are the most versatile. First of all, we're built in the image of God. Shout out to Thursday night. So we are creators through and through. And even if it does everything we've ever created and it does it 1,000 times faster, it doesn't matter. Humans will create something bigger, better, different. We're innovators. We're creators. We're built in the image of God. So
Love
no,
it.
I do not think it will destroy our ambition.
Love it, yeah, Johnny. No, I agree with you. I don't think it will destroy our ambition, but it will destroy our ambition anything tied to repetitive task. Like I promise you, I don't want to be sorting packages. And once you see this robot sorting packages, guaranteed nobody's gonna be like, you know what? I don't want ever want to do that sorting packages thing ever
Yep.
again.
I don't ever think I've ever really had an ambition for doing repetitive tasks.
Yeah. Makes sense, makes sense. All right, let's actually get to the news, AI Johnny.
All right. I think I've faded out there for a second. Can you hear me okay?
You're back and you're great.
Great. All right. Guess who's back in the news? Elon Musk. We're so excited to announce the registration of our new. Well, first of all, the big breaking news, before we get to Elon Musk, is that our AI summer camp officially launches. We are so excited to announce that registration is now open for our June and July summer camp. It's only $100 a week, and it's the absolute best place for kids and teens aged 10 to 20 to be, to get a massive head start in their future. Sign them up today at our website, www.airinstitute.com or .ai. Closing arguments conclude in the historic Musk versus OpenAI trial. I can't wait to hear the verdict. After 3 weeks of explosive testimony, the jury is now delivering the fate of ChatGPT's maker. Elon Musk lawyer Steve Molo pulled no punches, repeatedly calling Sam Altman a liar in front of the jury, citing testimony from 5 high-profile witnesses, including Iya Sussgeber and Myra Muratil. So we'll see how that is. How long are they deliberating? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, the jury's actually deliberating right now.
Musk is asking for $150 billion for AI nonprofit. While Elon Musk wasn't even in the courtroom yesterday, he was traveling in China with our fearless leader. His legal team clarified he is seeking $150 billion in damages to be paid back into OpenAI's charitable arm, accusing the leadership of unjustly enriching themselves at Microsoft. Is that it? I thought they were going to lose their company. They're just going to have to pay a measly little $150 billion?
Well, keep in mind the judge can actually make a ruling that actually stands in terms of what it is. So this is what Elon Musk is asking for. You'd have no idea what the judge might actually do. So we'll see what happens when it actually comes out.
All right, OpenAI throws a punch. The Midas touch doesn't work in AI. OpenAI's defense hammered back, stating Elon Musk is simply jealous. He lost control of the company. Their lawyer famously stated to the jury, Mr. Musk may have the Midas touch in some areas, but not in AI. All Mr. Musk can do is come to court. The jury's verdict could dictate the entire future of the industry. So I guess it's just mudslinging, right? They're just smack talking.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the jury actually says. I don't know how long they're gonna take. I don't know what orders the judge are gonna have, but we'll find out some update, I guess, on Monday, to see what's happening. Yeah, Johnny, this is exciting.
It's another great show, brother. I'm going to go write out my most complex, time-consuming business problem, feed it into a model, one of these time-traveling models, and let it experience a subjective year of thought over a weekend to solve it for me. Is it really going to happen? I think it is. Join us Monday as we launch into week 3 of our Vibe Coding Bootcamp. We will be diving into Category 3, the autonomous builder, where we unleash terminal agents to actually fix their own bugs. You don't want to miss that. Sounds like skills might be involved. AI Junior, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, guys, remember, Monday is going to be episode 3, and it's actually our season finale because the Monday after that is actually a holiday. So don't catch our season finale for Monday for Vibe Coding Bootcamp. And thanks for hanging out with us always. These live classes are free, and you can ask questions anytime on Zoom, and you can sign up and RSVP for all our shows to get reminder at www.airheadinstitute.ai and support us by becoming a paid member. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead after-school program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.